Hello and welcome back to the PLP. We're a couple of days late on the weekend's games, or Saturday games. At least I was busy turning 37 and had stupidly allocated myself one of the highlighted games, so thought I'd better not ruin my own special day. But that is to come later. The main four games are the ones you've got in front of you right now, which are the FA Cup quarter-finals. I've got 5 from League 2, 1 drafted representative from the NLP, and then 1 really randomly. Wolves C have made it through with Sheff facing that particular banana skin. So I'm hoping they'll all sort of come one after the other just to aid some continuity. There you'll see we've also got that League 2 game and a couple of other scores. We've also got scores from League 1 and the NLP to come later as well. Well, they'll all be coming one after the other because we're going to League 2 first. Get this one out of the way. In theory, it doesn't get much trickier for me. Playing a team that have spent a lot of this season at the top of League 2. Admittedly, they have totted up a lot more games than others. You can see they're there still now. 4 games more played than Lawrence in second, though. But, as I've said numerous times before, if you've got the points on the board, no one's going to take them off you. And I'm sort of in the complete opposite boat, where, in theory, I could still get automatic promotion. I'm still well within touching distance of Dauncey with my games in hand. But getting them is a whole other prospect, and I've had a very mixed few weeks. And it usually doesn't go well for me when I've come for the watch long for my own games. I've actually, well, saying this about Dan City Y as well the other day, the catch-up period is about to begin. Our European schedule isn't quite as gruelling now. The domestic cup schedule similarly filtering out a little bit, and it's just an absolute deluge of league games. I'm playing on the Saturday and the Monday. Wyman's done, I think, was it Tuesday, Friday, Sunday? Louis's got a similar challenge ahead of him. My challenge not helped by Pepe Reina going off injured. All goals being disallowed. Obviously it's easy for me to be quite self-deprecating, but to be fair, a draw would be a good result for Dauncey here. I think, if you win all your home games and try and draw most of your away games, he'll still very much be in the mix come the end of the season for that automatic spot. Obviously if you can nick a winner, all the better for it. That'll help. Would not be the first time that one of my highlighted games has seen me absolutely dominate a game and then lose to lay goals. Not so late here, but hurts just as much. Of course, promotion very unlikely for me because I keep putting in, well, scores like this. Normally the performances are pretty good, but certainly the scorelines aren't, which probably means I'm only about 13 games away from losing Bobby Robson. Won't be getting playoffs. That's Sir Bobby gone, retiring, leaving me pretty clueless as to who I'm going to replace him with, to be honest. Absolutely no idea. I'm only allowed to pick from the available manager list. There's a lot on there, but not many desirable ones, especially as I've been sort of building my squad for a particular formation, and obviously with the Newcastle identity there as well. I don't think there's many former Newcastle legends who play for a 4-4-2 lingering around in those available lists. That being said, I'm clearly shit, so maybe I should just ignore all those impulses and go for someone completely different. Dauncey though, those points keep racking up. I think it's his third win on the bounce. I think I'm heading in the direction of sort of Down City Y and Harry Pally, with just a lot of non-meaningful league games to dredge through over the next 6 weeks or so. It's FA Cup time. And of the 8 remaining teams, obviously we've got 7 drafters, and out of them, only one has won a trophy so far out of the sort of 1.5 years we've been doing this, and that's actually the Red Whall, who won the Carabao Cup only last month. So it's all to play for everybody involved. Certainly for these two, who have had opposing seasons. Cal started really well, was sort of making the running for the first few weeks, and is sort of also in that category with me, actually, with not a lot to play for now for the rest of the year, especially if this goes wrong. The Tractor Bolge made a torrid start to the season, but are actually now on the outskirts of a playoff push. I think it would be tricky considering how many games they've already played, but certainly not out of the realms. Either way, I'd say an FA Cup victory is slightly more likely than promotion for either of these two teams. It's the home team that have started brighter. For some bizarre reason, I saw him on the bench earlier. MATTch been dropped to the bench for what is now, I'd imagine, Craig's biggest game of the season. Not entirely sure what Scott Carson's done to earn his place back. His check has been pretty transformative. It's not like he's rotated anywhere else either. The rest is pretty much the best 11 he could pluck. Just decided to leave the sexy cap on the bench. One player that was left on the bench for a lot of weeks in a row was Paul Merson, for no reason whatsoever. But, Emery seems to have forgiven him, and he started that move. You've got to say that 1-0 is deserved. Can't recall Craig even having a highlight yet. Zinchenko into Firmino. Czech would have saved that. in. Rob Green in the other goal, also not a first choice. It's the first time I've seen him in this game. He immediately parries one into the top corner. Really well worked goal. I say parried, ballooned it, threw it in. Not sure about FA Cup quarterfinals. I presume there are no replays at this stage. I'm not actually sure if it comes to that, which it might not. Again, Merson starting the move. Those inverted fullbacks working wonders. Carson having a mad one. Petr banging his hatted head against the dugout walls. And Dauncey Cow with one leg in the semi-finals. There it is. Off to Wembley for Calvert. Heartbreak for Bolge. You can immediately tell by the glamorous stadium that we're down to the NLP now. No idea how they've made it to this stage. But Cheshampton not taking them lightly. That's pretty much a first choice lineup he's gone for. We have actually seen quite a lot of Wolves C this season in the PLP because of the games against all the NLP opposition. We've got 6 of us drafters in there. In terms of the players that started off in the database at the club, yeah, Bentley. Actually, no, was Bentley there? Possibly. Halford, definitely. I think it's Greg Halford. Andre. Cameron. I think it's the Jeff variety. Not Jeff. Colin. And actually the 2 strikers. Both now official Wolves C representatives. But really, this is pretty much how the script, pretty much the script we'd expect. He'll want a second to secure it, but I think Chesh can start packing his bags for Wembley as well. There he is. Big Babel. Denied a goal in the first half. Confirms Cheshampton in the FA Cup semi-finals in the second. You'd think this would be a good opportunity to maybe rest some of those players. Not sure if they will. Andrew's just taking an afternoon nap. the standout quarter final for me is seeing Lawrence and Bustin. I've watched those two face off against each other on Everton many, many times over the years. Two of the most insane people I've ever met. Losing their respective shits. Just like Dan Bentley's done here. A bit harsh to pick out the keeper actually. I think it was a collective Wolves defensive calamity. And about as easy as I'd have expected and Sheff would have hoped. Probably the easiest game he'll face now between, well, now and the end of the season. And this is that game I was talking about. On paper, home team are fighting for automatics, the favourite to go up, despite Dauncey's continuous fighting back and 3-point grabbing. Hart Chamberlain definitely have it in their own hands. Aston Villa did have a bit of a rally over the last sort of couple of months, but I think the playoffs, a bit like the track to Bolge, might just be a bit too far off given the start they had to the season. So again, a massive opportunity here to ignite some excitement into the final 6 or so weeks of the season and give them a nice summer date of an FA Cup final. But beating Hart Chamberlain away is not something that many teams have done this year. Not sure what happened then. I think Nathan Ake's clearance has been so forceful, it's bounced off Lucas Moura's head into the goal. No, he's just missed it entirely. Yellow card and a calamitous mistake, bringing a pretty horrendous first half for Nathan Ake to a close. Both Dutchmen on the in the referee's book actually. Mark Overmars joining him. And looking down, I mean that's pretty much Bustin's first choice team as well. But I mean there's no shame in any team losing to Loz this year. Despite what still looks like such a Spursy side, it's weird to see them so formidable and dominant. First bit of pressure there. That's a hit. How Ron Atkinson would dearly love a return to Wembley. And it is all Bustin Villa. Oh, that was a great effort. Is there going to be any late drama? Lampard on the edge. He's got to hit it. Oh, he's hit the bar. Fabinho straight off the bench. Pretty sure it's his first touch. He's replaced Nathan Ake. Alert to the rebound. And actually, based on the second half, you've got to say he deserves it. Paul will be fast asleep in Bangkok right about now. He's going to have a very exciting morning when he wakes up. Possibly more exciting if Diaz can finish it. Extra time or replay? What do we got? It is extra time. Fantastic. Wholesale changes at full time. Canute, Ali and Sanchez on. It's Dele Alli. Substitute again coming good immediately off the bench. Regulon as well. A late arriver to the party. And getting Loz's nose back in front. Can Aston Villa respond again? Or White Hart Chamberlain going to plough on in their search of a double. Canute, Borrow. Kyle Walker's covered some ground. And he's about to cover some Wembley ground. Well done, Mr. Chamberlain. And it's time to find out who will join Dan Calvert, Andy Cheshire and Lawrence Chamberlain in those semi-finals. Will it be NLP's Marshyside, Rob Marshall, or the current Carabao champions, League Two's the Red Whall, Tom Wall? Big cup match at Anfield. They love him up there apparently. And Van Nistelrooy's back. Seems to have been in and out since coming back from injury, and that is an outrageous piece of defending from Steve Bruce. Oh, and it's the lower league team that have made a cracking start. Obviously Marshy's not a newbie. That team, for all intents and purposes, should be competitive with League Two teams, at least. He'll definitely be joining us in League Two next year. His promotion all but settled from the NLP. And he's threatening to add a European venture to his troubles next season as well, if he does go all the way in this FA Cup. The only obvious change I can see from his lineup is Schweinsteiger, normally the third centre midfielder. He's gone for Mendieta today. And another piece of woodwork hit. Every game, it's happened about 3 or 4 times. Quite a few changes for the away team compared to his normal league lineup. Hargreaves isn't usually there. Tyrone Mings, Lindelof, Calafiori, Eriksson. Not always guaranteed starts. I was about to say it's normally Sancho on the left wing, and there he is at half time. Nice that Marshy's brought in his typical lack of highlights from his NLP games to the FA Cup. Normally does just enough to get him over the line, whether it's 1-0, 2-1. Just threatening to do the same here. Oh, he should have done as well. What a miss. Don't think he's going to want to take Peter Schmeichel to penalties. He's unlucky not to win it in real time. "30 minutes to avoid that showdown with the Big Dane." It's a weird time to suddenly bring off Van Nistelrooy and give him 118 minutes and take him off the minute before penalties kick off. That could be the very first touch of the game, I think, for MATTch. And that seemed unwise. How costly will that decision be? Mourinho, what a maniac. Takes one of the best strikers the league's ever seen off a minute before a penalty shootout. Doesn't give MATTch any time to get involved in the game, and he misses the first penalty. Cudicini gets him back in it though. Solskjaer of all people. No doubt one of Marshy's heroes. Loves him even more now. Here we go, Yapstam. Man for the big occasion. And now, pressure's all on Tom. Some young Kobbie Mainoo shoulders. Every shootout we've watched this season has gone to a ridiculous level of sudden death. It's usually a good 3 or 4 minute affair. Sancho, not normally known for his solid spine, that's a pretty handy pen. Slightly brave from Nigel de Jong. Now Lindelof. Doesn't scream amazing penalty taker. What do I know? Neither does this guy. We go on. Patrice. A lot of familiarity between the two teams. We've got two Man Utd supporting drafters here, obviously. A lot that are in the Red Whall team that Marshy wishes he had, and maybe vice versa. Oy, oy, oy. Johnny Otto. Races from the halfway line. No fucking about. We are one pen away from the goalkeepers getting involved. Axel Disasi. Will it be a Disasi star? Nope, where is it? Over to Cudicini. Kept him in it earlier. Might have just won it for him. Can he stop a penalty from Peter Schmeichel after all that? God. He just Panenka'd it back to MATTch, his second kick of the game. This is slightly ridiculous now. We've gone past the 31-minute mark on the highlights reel. We've still got to do the scores, still got to do some league tables. Come on, Bruno, do me a favour. No. we have lives. Sort of. Brian McClare. I think even Tom's given up on the cup double now. He just wants to go home. We all do. Philip Albert, come on. There we go. Can always rely on a Newcastle player to fuck things up. Ollie Solskjaer missed his first one. Probably didn't think at the time that he'd have a chance to make amends. Oh no. That's unbelievable. So I should probably add some drama to that moment. But Kobbie Mainoo's just going to miss this, isn't he? He hasn't. It's Kobbie Mainoo that keeps Tom's domestic double hopes alive. Breaks Marshy's heart, makes that Van Nistelrooy decision look even more mental than it did to begin with, and saves Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after missing 2 penalties in the same shootout. God, I'm knackered now. Right. League 1, League 2, NLP scores to come. We'll rattle through them. Oh, some quick sackings. Dean Smith, I'm pretty sure that's his 3rd sacking. And Alan Pardew. There you go, I was looking for my next Newcastle manager. Sorted. Over to League 1. Yep. And it's another win for Thomarse. A Garnacho double, keeping him in control of that automatic promotion situation. Steve Mooney response, not enough to unsettle Tom. FullofStrangeham doing what they can to add a little bit of pressure. Might be a little too late, too little too late. But they did manage to fight back from that early Negredo goal. Ellister also just winning, retaining their place at the top, keeping that healthy distance between themselves and Thomarse and Foyverton. MATTch, the latest striker to come off the production line and do the business for Ellister, their other goal scorer. The less said about him, the better. And Foyverton making it 4 from 4 for those drafted teams, so nothing really changes that situation other than Ashley Williams not being involved for the next game. His red card tainting an otherwise pretty solid performance. Down in League 2, another good win for Harry Pally. That's been a few against non-drafted teams lately. Best he can hope for at this stage. Palace legend Zaha proving the difference. Good win for Leeds UniTodd as well. A few of us have come unstuck away at Sheffield Wednesday B. In the Yorkshire derby, Richarlison, João Pedro and Richarlison made sure that wouldn't happen. And down in the NLP, the National League Prem. Good win for otbCraig to exert a little bit of pressure on Marshyside while he was busy playing 150,000 minutes of FA Cup football. Carlton Palmer back in the team, 3 points on the board. Completely perfect correlation. Also a 2-1 win for Gourlayverpool. They've been in a lot of cup action recently, turning attentions back to cementing their playoff place and hopefully getting within those sort of 2 bye places, 2nd and 3rd. Cyril Regis missed penalty, Marcus Allbeck goal, but Pape Sarr and Ravanelli doing the business in the second half. 2-0 win for Craig Daniels as well, another player hoping to get into that sort of second or third spot. Morientes brace, securing the 3 points. And finally, another clean sweep. In fact, all of us in league action, apart from me, won today. Good win for LuTom. Dusan Tadic and Uwe Rosler pretty much ending the game within 15 minutes. Go up to look at the league table. Now you can see Tottenham C have actually joined the top 4 and securing those playoff spaces. They're probably a bit of a dangerous team to play actually. They're not a complete no man's land. 15 points ahead of 6th and 13 points off Levi. But nothing's changed in terms of those top 3. Still very much fighting out for those 2 magical places. Into League 2, my loss today still doesn't really change much in terms of my playoff hopes. I just need to start winning those games in hand, but I think it's unlikely. Louis in a similar position, although his schedule is horrendous, as we've said. White Hart Chamberlain can carry some FA Cup momentum into their ongoing automatic hunt. And Dauncey's Devils, we keep expecting them to try and start getting reeled in. But he's got 6 games and 18 points to play for, and if he gets even half of those, I'd say he's looking good. Down to the National League Prem. 5 points difference thanks to Craig Trudgell's win today, but played 2 more already, and unless that FA Cup defeat does something to Marshyside psychology, I think he should be alright. Again, as I've said before, it's Manchester staff that will prove sort of the story between now and the end of the year as they try and get back involved and make it a complete clean sweep in terms of playoff action. There are 2 Sunday games coming in League 2. I can show you those actually. We've got Dan Gregory and Whiteman facing off in a Dan derby, and then Louis against Matt Warrington, 2 teams very much in the promotion picture. That'll be coming up pretty soon because I'm going to have to do a mass deluge of highlights to catch up from my weekend birthday antics. Thanks again to Dauncey for doing fuck all for my birthday, and congratulations to the 4 FA Cup advancees. Catch you soon.